Welcome to RedEye. I'm Greg Gutfeld, or as I'm known in Mexico, the Tijuana Tucker. Let's go to TV's Andy Levy for a pregame report. Andy, what's coming up on tonight's show, Sport?
Thanks, Greg. Our top story tonight, in a move that took the industry by surprise, North Korean state media dropped a new video over the weekend. We'll have the latest scoop, plus interviews with the stars coming up. Plus, why does President Obama think it's okay to kill Americans? Hey, what does he care? It's not like they're his fellow countrymen. And finally, babies wearing perfume, the story that's so bad it stinks. Greg?
Thanks, Andy.
Happy anniversary, Greg.
Anniversary?
You forgot, didn't you?
No. Happy anniversary.
You don't even know what this is the anniversary of. What is it? What's the anniversary of?
Well, we met in a bar on 9th Avenue about 8 years ago. You were wearing a tight T-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
I was crying in the corner because someone had rolled me.
Is that right? I just thought that was normal you. I didn't realize something had happened.
No. I appreciated the compassion that you shared, and I will never forget that moment. That is what we're celebrating.
It was something like that, yeah. Yeah, I think it's
actually it's the RedEye anniversary. Yes. We are 6 years and 1 hour old.
Yep, you come a long way from Good Morning Topeka.
That is so true.
Yep.
I've had enough of talking to you.
Okay.
Go away. Let's welcome our guest. Well, she's so British, she sleeps in a tea kettle. I'm here tonight with author and political commentary Imogen Lloyd Webber. Her latest book is called The Twitter Diaries. And he files briefs as fast as I soil them. It's Georgia attorney Patrick Millsaps. And in San Francisco, he's considered a go-kart. It's my repulsive sidekick, Bill Schultz. And if fearless reporting were laundry, I'd pay 75 cents to do him every Sunday. Sitting right next to me, Jonathan Hunt, chief correspondent for Studio B, whatever that is, and the Fox Report on Fox News Channel.
A-Block. The lead. That's the first story.
Well, has Noco gone loco? Well, they're showing might while violating copyright. A bizarre North Korean video, is there any other kind, Jonathan? Features an American city under attack to the strains of We Are the World. God, I hate ABBA. It was posted on something called YouTube by the country's state-run media. That's MSNBC with standards. And shows a man dreaming about flying a space shuttle around the world. It also features video game images of New York City in ruins with subtitles stating, quote, somewhere in the U.S., black clouds of smoke are billowing. It seems that the nest of wickedness is ablaze with a fire started by itself. Oh, what the hell? Let's play it. You know, they've convinced me we all do deserve to die. Former UN ambassador and current president of RedEye, John Bolton, tells Fox News, the film is yet another disturbing reminder that a nuclear-capable North Korea is a threat in its region and worldwide. He takes the fun out of everything. On Tuesday, North Korea posted a second video to YouTube. She used to work on RedEye. Speaking of anniversaries. Anyway, Jonathan, you claim to be a reporter, though we see no evidence of it, at least here on Fox News. This is really a work of art. It's not a political statement, isn't it?
No, it's fabulous, and everybody should just calm down. Why are we worried about this? They've taken clips from Call of Duty 3 Modern Warfare, dubbed it over with the worst pop song ever written. Thank you, Michael Jackson. R.I.P.
He's dead, by the way.
Really, if this... Yes. So are these video makers, I would imagine, by now. I mean, if this is a sign of the really, if this is a sign of the North Koreans' technological prowess, it's going to be decades before they invent the VCR, never mind a damn nuclear weapon.
I know, it's almost encouraging, Patrick. How does a country that can't even produce a decent YouTube video, have a nuclear weapon. I mean, is it possible that their nuclear weapon might be made out of tin foil and a coat hanger?
Well, the sad thing is We Are the World is a new song for them.
Yes.
It's like the #1 Billboard North Korean 100. The problem is where I live, if you want something done, you get a crazy cousin to do it, see if they get in trouble.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like where North Korea is. It's not that North Korea is the problem. It's who's going to come to North Korea and say, I know you're so crazy, but we want you to do this. Try this, crazy cousin. So if Syria or Iran ever figure out that North Korea is this crazy, they could really do some damage.
That's an interesting theory. It's a lot of times what me and Andy do with Bill when we're out drinking. It's like, Bill, we're hungry, go in there and steal something. And it's usually somebody's apartment, and then Bill gets beaten up, often worse than beaten up, but then that's what he likes.
It's a reward.
Yes, that is the payoff. What do you think the message of the video is?
Well, they're saber rattling, and they always sort of saber rattle. Interesting thing, though, bit of a conspiracy theory. This is the first time they've ever done something like this on YouTube. Google recently sent a Google delegation to North Korea. John McCain was very unhappy. I mean, he's always unhappy, but, John McCain was unhappy. The State Department was unhappy. And then suddenly Google came out with that map of North Korea. So I think we should blame Google for this video. Interesting,
yes. That was the first time we actually saw an in-depth look of the terrain of North Korea. Bill, you ruled North Korea with an iron fist from 1978 to 1980, or it might have been a stinky fist. I can't remember. What's your take on this?
Well, there was a member of the Cato Institute who said, and I quote, I think this is bluster. The good news here is that while they're evil, they're not stupid. They know they would lose. First of all, why are we talking to Cato from China when we need to be focusing on North Korea?
Cato is a libertarian think tank. It is not the sidekick to the Green Hornet.
I believe the record will show that it's the sidekick to the Green Hornet. Let's go to the tape. R.I.P. Bruce Lee. Secondly, I think that they might be stupid. Let's look at this video. What they've got here is 80s era song coupled with 90s era graphics, and the message is we're supposed to be afraid of that. I think that they might be so stupid that they think that this is even more threatening than the Iran Space Monkey. And quite frankly, Iran Space Monkey scares me to death.
I'm going to make 16 short points before we move on. Couldn't this, Jonathan, be the olive branch? I mean, if let's say there's a crazy person that wants to be friends, or a psychopath. They don't know how to do it. So this could be like a crazy person's way of saying, hey, we like you. We like your music. We like fire all over your buildings to keep you warm with.
You sound like a crazy person.
That's what you have to think crazy to understand.
Well, you're
crazy.
Very, very good at that.
They're pulling our pigtails.
Anytime anybody sends you a gift which has on it, "We are the world," they are trying to insult you, trying to offend you.
I think I've got it.
What?
Because they're all food deprived. Thousands are dying.
Yeah.
And wasn't that a charity record?
Yes.
So I think there must be some sort of link between them all starving and wanting some food and money, like
so it's
a
actually
charity.
begging.
They're begging.
Yes.
Begging.
There's all those sanctions in the UN that are against them.
Theoretically, shouldn't we be rioting in the streets? This is like an anti-Muslim video directed at us, and we should be out in the streets burning things. But what do we burn? We like our stuff.
I don't think Susan Rice works anymore.
Yeah, that's true. She's right now scrolling through Netflix, going, what can I blame this on? I think I saw this once before. Bill, last word to you.
If North Korea really wants to impress us, they can tell us why the hell Dan Aykroyd was in that video to begin with. The original way was Pop Store, Dan Aykroyd.
That is
Never
true.
understood that.
That is true. That ruined the whole image.
It was perplexing.
Why? I just don't know why we don't save those people and invade the darn place.
Because they've got a nuclear weapon and we're scared.
We don't know that.
They don't.
They don't.
It's all bluster, and it's bluster. It's bluster on our side too. I don't believe they're getting one from.
You don't think we have nuclear weapons either?
I don't. No, I don't believe we need to be worried about theirs. I think we like to keep everybody fearful.
All right, from Korea with love to death from above. When should the drone be used on our own? Well, a leaked Justice Department memo, is there any other kind, Jonathan, says the government can order strikes against Americans if it believes they're senior al-Qaeda leaders, even if there's no intel pointing to an active plot against the U.S. Indeed, the white paper, how racist, why does it have to be white, first reported by NBC News, introduces a broader definition of imminent attack than described publicly by U.S. officials. It states, quote, the condition that an operational leader present an imminent threat of violent attack against the U.S. does not require the U.S. to have clear evidence that a specific attack on U.S. persons and interests will take place in the immediate future. That was confusing. The ACLU, not sure what the ACLU is, calls it a chilling document that sets limits on targeted killings that are elastic and vaguely defined. Sounds like Andy Levy's underwear. For more, let's go to RedEye's national security correspondent who's been watching developments.
Congress, time to pass a federal budget. To apply even more pressure to the president and Democrats, Republican leaders say if a budget is not passed, they'll try to prevent members of Congress from being paid. Is this a good idea? Let us know what you think.
Doug's got a better heating system than I do.
Patrick, okay, I would rather be wrong than be a hypocrite. So I was for the drones under Bush. I'm for the drones after for Obama. What bothers me is people who switch. Do you have a problem with drones?
First of all, I'm going to be ticked if James Cameron is right about Skynet.
Oh,
That's
next.
This is the most dangerous 16 pages this country has produced in a long time. It exposes hypocrisy and sanctimony on both sides. You've got the ACLU, I mean, that's a little bit of timid response from them. You've got Republicans.
The other thing about that, they got to retire the word chilling. Find something else.
Yes.
So go ahead.
But so you have the left that's completely silent on this. You have the right that's completely silent on this because they don't want to appear soft.
Yeah.
But this is a legalized assassination of American citizens. I don't want to make the two terrorists that they've killed heroes out of this or martyrs out of this. But this is a constitutional issue that you are protected by the Constitution if you're a United States citizen, and they've thrown it out. One other thing on this is just exposed the sanctimony of this gun debate. Anytime anybody talks about having guns to protect themselves against the government, they're called survivalists, they're called crazies. But now there's a 16-page memo that their government is now coming after them. So maybe they should rethink the gun debate.
Maybe we're not so crazy after all. Imogen, according to the 16-page white paper, we could now send a drone into Buckingham Palace and kill an American.
Quite frankly, yes, you could.
Yes.
I mean, I've been ranting about this for a very long time, and I think this is the biggest threat to President Obama's legacy. I think it's incredibly dangerous. I'm agreeing with you there. He's basically trying to turn us into an episode of Homeland crossed with Terminator.
Wow.
You cannot, talking about American citizens here, cannot throw American citizens in jail indefinitely, or assassinate them or execute them without trial, just based on intelligence. Intelligence can be wrong. Weapons of mass destruction, anyone. Then on an international level, are we talking war here? Are we talking assassination? The international law is all over the place on this. And you've got 40 countries developing armed drones. What happens when China and Iran start using armed drones a la America, as they have been over the past few years? It is incredibly dangerous, and it's a huge threat to America.
She feels strongly about Jonathan, much more strongly than I do. I was thinking about perhaps the Chinese food I'm having later. But I don't buy American. I'm sorry. Here's the thing, Jonathan. A lot of people are talking about the assassination of American citizens. I have said this before. If they're waging war in America, to me, they're not American citizens, so I don't care.
I'm not overly concerned, I have to say. And by the way, don't worry about Buckingham Palace. Americans aren't allowed in Buckingham Palace, so there's no chance of a drone being used there. But, I do agree that there's hypocrisy. I agree with Patrick. The hypocrisy on both sides. The left utterly failing to condemn Obama as they would have done had this been carried out under President Bush. But I think there's also hypocrisy on the right. All of these, there are members of the right, I think, Patrick, who are going after Obama on this, when if it had been Bush and Darth Cheney, they would have been applauding it and saying, oh, by the way, can we waterboard them a bit before we actually drone them?
And by the way, this is all about waterboarding, isn't it? The left wanted to avoid that. So you kill them before you waterboard.
You kill them before you waterboard them. But I actually think we should take it much further and start targeting people according to many criteria. You're listening to Michael Bublé on your iPod. Boom goes the drone. I think we could use it in a lot of circumstances.
You joke, but by 2020 there will be 30,000 drones above America snooping on Americans.
Good.
This is a massive issue of just it's crazy.
I'm with Bill. I read further in this. The ACLU calls the memo's limits on target killings are vaguely defined, much like Bill Schultz's sexuality. Why did you think the ACLU dragged you into this?
First of all, they're defaming me, so they are put them on the list of hypocrites.
Yeah, you know, that's a chilling effect on you.
I think it's very well defined, by the way. Your sexuality is just different on every given day.
You've gotten my Tuesday emails, haven't you?
Oh, yes.
They're completely different on Wednesday. Don't like a cut of your jib on that day. The overwhelming American sentiment on this is great, just not in my backyard. There's a town in Virginia that has already said that they will make sure that drones are outlawed when and if they end up on American soil. But if it happens overseas, nobody cares. That seems to be it. The left have responded. Just because it's not reported on this channel or some others doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Excuse me. I was ranting on that other channel about
you
it,
have
with many others.
24 Democrat congressmen in June of 2012 wrote a strongly worded letter to Obama. And what is more dangerous than drones? A strongly worded letter to Obama.
Yeah. All right. On Fox News, Beckel was extremely consistent and just screamed about this. Meanwhile, on MSNBC, Tory, is that his name? Tory Spelling?
She's a libertarian.
Oh, okay. Came out for it because it's Obama. Before he wasn't for it before. But
4 weeks ago.
Yeah, 4 weeks ago. He changed his mind a couple times. My big thing about this, forget all of this. This goes back to what Imogen says. The technology of drones are such that drones are already going to be able to fit in the palm of your hand. We are going to be able to have our own drones, which means for women like Imogen who are walking home at night, it's like a little drone dog in your purse. Some mysterious guy is coming at you. All you got to do is push a button. This thing flies out and bites his face. Drones are now going to be robot pets.
The new gun.
They're going to be the new guns.
It's the new gun.
I believe. I'm telling you.
But I will see your drones for girls and raise you drones for predators. Me. I can use my drone to follow Imogen home. She doesn't see it. Disrobing happens on my laptop. Thanks, Predator drone.
That's true. A camera drone will become a peeper.
Let me make one point as a lawyer. Eric Holder's opinion on this, I've kind of reserved judgment on him, but for him just to check off and say this is
very
okay
strange.
I question that he does not have control of his client.
Yeah.
We as lawyers all the time have to tell our clients no, and it seems to me he'll say whatever Obama wants him to say.
It's ideology. That's what it is. He's run by ideology and not by, I don't know, spine. Is that what you call it?
Well, to assume if we give this foothold to this government, to assume that it's just going to be limited to this vague thing, like you said, in 10 years, you know, we'll have drones all over the place.
Well, it looked like Romney might do better, as it were. Weren't they busy making up a document for drones, saying this is how you should use drones?
Mm-hmm. You know what? I think
Romney loses, and then we hear about this. I'm just.
The real losers are the American people.
I find this very dronist. I mean, we don't even know. By the way, they're going to become sentient beings, and they're going to demand rights. Right. And all of you people are going to look stupid 50 years from now. When they go, let's play RedEye, when they were making fun of us. And all the drones are sitting around going, dronist, 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 and not me, because I like them, and there's going to be a big statue of me in every drone's house, and I will be the one that's spared along with my grandkids, Puffy and Poopy. Ugh. I know. They both had medical disorders. All right, coming up, what's up with Pippa and Prince Harry? Jonathan Hunt on his extra nipples. Yes, he named them. But first, was this Ravens girl too big to twirl? We report Ray Lewis burns his clothing.